COVID really accelerated how change was going to happen. Many things that we said would never happen, happened. Now, layering on top of that, we have ever evolving technology like generative AI that we're featuring right now, which is going to further accelerate how we work and where we work and how all that will be different. Hi, my name is Duleesha. I'm the Managing Director for Deloitte Center for the Edge and also the Asia Pacific Innovation Leader. Being human in a digital world means striving for more joy, belonging, connection, and purpose, things that make us human, using these tools rather than competing with them.
Today, I speak to a very special guest, my partner in crime at the Center for the Edge, Duleesha Kulasooriya. He is a futurist and also one of the foremost thinkers on transformation, disruption, and innovation.
So future work has been evolving forever, but one big accelerant that we've all experienced in the last few years was COVID. COVID really accelerated how change was going to happen. Many things that we said would never happen, happened. And it was also quite traumatic for a lot of people, and it made a lot of people question why work, what's work for, what's the purpose of this. So that's a fundamental change that got from COVID. Now, layering on top of that, we have ever-evolving technology like generative AI that we're featuring right now, which is going to further accelerate how we work and where we work and how all that will be different. We've always said that computers are computers, they can't behave like humans, they're not creative, and now we're seeing a lot of output that we could get into nuances of what's creative or not, but for all purposes, they can be creative. And that is quite fearful to a lot of people that maybe what they had as a livelihood may no longer be so. Many things that these computers couldn't do, computers are doing right now. And if this is the first instantiation of what you're seeing, it's like the first iPhone, can you imagine what it's going to look like 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and 10 years from now? Mainly for those who are not in Asia, and even for those who are in Asia, as a reminder, Asia is so vast and different, right? In a place like Singapore, we have the issues, like I said, of aging population and not enough resources to serve us. When I was just in Sri Lanka, India, and Philippines, and in those countries, you have a lot of labor. And it strikes you when you go up to buy something, there's one person to sell it to, another person to write the bill, another person to wrap it, another person to just watch over it. There's so much labor. And you wonder if the AI revolution hits, what will happen? So there are significant implications to that labor pool. My suspicion is that none of that will change in the short term. But in the medium to long term, we really have to figure out how we enable this labor to do more than what they're doing today. Absolutely, right? So there are some benefits like that. You could find a really smart person who doesn't have a good grasp of English from any of these countries in Asia, and now with the tools that are coming available, they don't need to. They can write as beautifully as anyone else using tools like Bard or ChatGPT. So that does give them an advantage. So the implications are going to be quite vast. I think the differentiator is going to be who has that drive to learn, to adopt, to try these new tools and to use them. I don't think we can ensure it. I think we can take affirmative action to provide those with less access to more access to these tools. We can provide them ways to engage them to use it and adopt it, but it's going to have to be proactive. I think no different from before. You find with every new technology, consumers are the first ones to adopt it. It comes into our consumer space. We love it, we use it because it helps us do things better, faster, cheaper. Over time, corporates realize that there's a gap in how their own workers are using it. That gap becomes a risk for them because now they're using tools that are not in the enterprise stack, that are not data protected, and so they start adopting those things in, and it comes to the corporate space. Now, what we've also seen over and over again is the first adaptation of all these technologies are around doing things differently, making things better, faster, cheaper. But the bigger opportunity, the bigger value here is if you could use these same tools and technologies to do different things. What can you use these tools to do different things that you don't want to do today rather than the things you do today? There's lots of studies that have shown that the more leisure time you have, the more you let your brain synapses work on its own and connect the dots, that's what actually enables you to imagine, to be more creative, and to come up with more different things to do. You don't need to be a technologist to adopt all the generative AI tools. You can just start using them right now, right? So the lower the barrier to entry, the higher the adoption it is. So it's just allowing your people to use it. So if you create an instance that you feel is safe from a data protection standpoint for them to use, you're going to enable them to use all their creativity to use it. That's going to drive it. But once again, it has to be the initial focus will be doing the same work you do today, but doing it better, faster, cheaper. I think it has to be directed towards what new things could we do beyond just doing the same things we do today. Well, I'm hoping Southeast Asia will try to leapfrog some of the older technologies have and jump into these new ones. I hope they move away from being a fast follower to being a leader and kind of take some initiative around this. And I'm hoping that maybe it's a language barrier going away that drives some of them to say, like, there is benefit to being first to market and there is benefit to pushing on some of these boundaries. I think it is that anchor question of what does it mean to be human in a world that is going to be where digital is going to be so pervasive. So it goes into the topics like joy and belonging and connection and purpose. How can we use these tools to elevate those human attributes rather than compete with them?
Duleesha spoke about the implications of these technologies on the future of work, what it means for Southeast Asia, and what businesses should consider when they adopt these technologies. And when it comes to being human in a digital world, how do we find joy, belonging, connection, and purpose?